Good afternoon, everybody. This summer, we received an email from the executive director of SCUBAnauts International telling us about the amazing group of teenagers that they work with. Take a look at these great pictures. SCUBAnauts International has chapters in St. Petersburg and in Tarpon Springs. The students were planning a big trip tomorrow. However, the weather is changing things a bit. The students who participate are between the ages of 12 and 18 years old, and we have a big group joining us today in our studios. We have 13-year-old Mia Foisey, and then we have 16-year-old Cole Colassa, and then we have PH student and chief scientist Carly Williams, who is on the end, and we have the executive director of SCUBAnauts, Jim Kasich, who is very good at PR because he emailed me, he talked to me about all the great things you do. So thank you for coming in. I know this is a busy time with changes. First of all, what happened with the weather and the trip that was planned for tomorrow?
Well, unfortunately, this cold front came through and made conditions on the nursery too challenging for us to do our coral work. We can dive in those conditions, but it was just unsafe for the coral itself, so we had to cancel.
Can you describe for the viewer, what does SCUBAnauts International do, and why is it such a unique program in leadership and science and conservation?
Sure, you hit on all the key points. We're looking for kids that have a passion for the environment. They do well in school, they're involved in a lot of other activities, but they really want to make a difference and get some hands-on experience in the environment. So that's what we provide.
These are great kids. I was surprised by how many dives you've been on. I thought it would be maybe 3 or 4. How many dives have you been on, Cole?
Over 70.
Over 70. Okay, and tell us about the dive that involved the veteran.
Well, when we were in the Keys, we did some research, and we did a coral transplanting of Acropora. And so basically, we were taking these small corals and we were hanging them up on large structures made of PVC, and that is so the corals can grow and prosper. And we did these with the Combat Wounded Veterans program. And so we were able to dive with these men who had been injured and lost limbs and arms in battle. So it was a really extraordinary experience.
Wow. And what was it like for you to meet some of them?
Well, I dove with quite a few of them, and so it was real neat because, they just act like normal people, and, they're doing all the things you're doing, and, they're jumping off the boat into the water, and, they're keeping up with you, and you think they might have problems, but, all in all, they do a great job.
That's great. Okay, and then I'm going to squeeze over here, Jim. Let me see. I feel very short today, standing next to you tall folks. Mia, tell me about your trip. How many dives have you done?
I have done about 25 dives.
Oh my gosh, 25 dives. And then you talked about your trip to Washington, D.C. Describe that trip and why did you go?
We went to Washington, D.C. to talk to Congress people about what they're doing to help the ocean and the environment. And we also went to see a panel with questions about the ocean.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting. I love working with them. They are phenomenal scientists and also just great students to work with. We do a bunch of surveys along the Tarpon Springs coastline as well as in the Keys and some other locations. And our research is actually benefiting other science agencies around this area. So when we do our coral surveys and our fish surveys, these are they're really great research experiences for me as a student, also for them as growing scientists.
And it's SCUBA, N-A-U-T-S-International. We'll be posting plenty of pictures on their prior dives, and you guys promise you're going to send us pictures the next time you go on a dive? Great. Okay, thank you for coming, and everybody, thank you for watching. Again, SCUBAnautsinternational.org.